Now, I'm going to go through some questions here. So again, I apologize. I know this is a long session, but there's a lot of questions here that's come up, but I do want to get to as much as we can. Gary, I went over max and min delta. Okay. Again, max delta, just really quick for those that came in late. Max delta, there's delta, max delta, min delta. The headline number delta is what delta was when the bar closed or as the bar is forming. Now, max delta, min delta is how strong delta was in a bar's max delta. So you can see like this bar says 631. That's how strong delta was in the bar. Down here, min delta is minus 48. Okay, so that just tells you that there's very little aggressive selling at one point in the bar. Now there's aggressive selling in the bar, of course, but it never turned, it turned negative here. So you can see it turned negative, but just 48. So it was there for a very short time. Now there's times, let me find a bar here where here. So this bar, it's 0 min delta. So at no point in this bar, now even though there's aggressive selling, was it enough to turn the delta negative? So it's at 0, right? And we closed the delta at 1969. The max delta closed at 1970. So we closed right near our max delta. Now over here, this red bar, final delta is minus 1,000. Min delta is minus 1062. Max delta is 0. So even though there's aggressive buying, at no point were the aggressive buyers in control, so to speak, of this bar. And we close our delta right near our min delta. So, it's telling me this bar is very strong selling, right? Just as this bar with the min delta of 0 and the max delta of 1970 and the final delta 1969 is telling me that this bar is very strong aggressive buying. Okay. Yeah, I try to use it with NQ. It's hard to do. It is. NQ is not a market for people that are new to trading or new to order flow in general. Okay, it's a tough market, right? Because it's very volatile, and this is NQ, right? This is let's take a look during the day session on Friday, right? And got to scrunch it up because it's so hard to read, but people can't handle this volatility. Look at this bar. It doesn't look like much, but it's actually covering, 85 and a half all the way up to 08, 09, 08 and a half, we'll call it. So that's what? That's a 23-point move in that one bar. Here's a bar. We went from 32 all the way up to 66. That's a 30-point move in a bar. It's not a market for everybody to trade, right? Because you just can't. There's plenty of other markets that you can trade that has normal price activity. Okay. Speaking of point of control, in your opinion, do you think there's value in tracking like a moving average? No, I don't. Daniel, you could use VWAP or a moving average. We did. I did have someone program that up for me, but honestly, I didn't find much value in it. I think you're better off using value or VWAP than a moving average of points of control. Because points of control, again, there's times where points of control just can be at one level in a bar versus another level in a bar by just a few contracts, right? And that's obviously just going to throw it off a bit. But I didn't find any value in tracking it, but that's me. Pam asks, I have an older version of Orderflows Trader. Can I get it? The upgrade? Yeah, you just got to send me an email, Pam. I watched one of your earlier presentations. You're discussing Delta candles. Yeah, Daniel, they are available, but if you have a paid version of NinjaTrader, they have them on the paid version of NinjaTrader. I forgot what they're called. It's called their Delta tool or something. If you have the $1,200 version of NinjaTrader, my software will work on the free version of NinjaTrader. Okay, so because I have a lot of users that are in countries, foreign countries, not the United States, that trade. Like I got customers in Malaysia that trade the Malaysia contracts. I got customers in China that trade the Chinese stock market using order flow. They use the free version of NinjaTrader. They get my software. They have a data feed for those local markets. Okay. Donald asks, can you talk about your $99 videos? You know, I had a new course that came out. It was called the Next Level Order Flow. That's just, you know, it's a simple 12 module course on, or I'll say simple because it's sort of advanced concepts of order flow analysis that, you know, really, you know, order flow is it's constantly, I'll say changing, but there's always, I like to say, new developments sort of in order flow, because, you know, as more people start to look at order flow, people start understanding really what's happening in the market better. And, you know, that's why I have this Next Level Order Flow course, is to help you understand sort of the newer things in order flow. Because honestly, you go look, there's a lot of people teaching order flow, but they're just teaching stuff from 10 years ago, right? I mean, we're so, I don't want to say I'm so far advanced, but, you know, the knowledge of order flow over the last just 5 years has jumped a lot, right? As more people understand the different data points that's available in the order flow. Queen asks, yeah, if you have the original order flows trader, you get the upgrade for free. Just shoot me an email, Queen. I'll take a look at your email and send you over a link. But in the meantime, you can always just shoot me an email. What is the best minimum requirement to run a tick replay function? Honestly, I've got several computers that I use for testing and stuff, as well as trading. I mean, my trading is an i7 with a 1 terabyte SSD and I think just 16 gigs of RAM. But I have testing machines. I use just an i5 with, you know, honestly, you can buy computers for quite cheap now. I've got I got a couple i5s with, one with 16, one with 32 gig RAM, and, you know, whatever, 512 SSD on those. So again, you don't need, you know, to spend $5,000 on a trading computer. You know, I mean, it's nice, but for what? Yes, the webinar is recorded. How would delta be displayed by different time frames? Well, again, it's going to depend on your chart. You know, so if you're looking at a 1 minute chart, it's going to show you the delta for that 1 minute bar. If you're looking at a 5 minute bar, it's going to show you the delta for that 5 minute period. If you're looking at a 15-minute chart, it's going to show you the delta for that 15-minute period. Okay, if you're looking at a 4 range chart, for that bar with the 4 ranges, is going to show you the delta for that. Yep, there will be a replay. No, I don't have it for TradeStation. Actually, I heard something quite scary with TradeStation. Mark Minervi, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's initiated almost $1 million wire transfer out of TradeStation, like $998,000, and never hit his bank. And he called up TradeStation, sort of, you know, ask about it. And well, there's nothing we can do. You know, so I've been hearing a lot of people actually moving away from TradeStation lately. But again, you know, that was just a story I heard online. Yes, it'll be recorded. Okay, a lot of people, yeah, I understand. You know, it's Saturday morning. I know a lot of us have lives, but again, I want to talk a bit about you know, the software. Someone asked me to explain about absorption. The absorption, it would be really another 1 hour to take it up. I have a course on absorption actually, but you know, just really quick, you know, absorption, you're looking for a market, you know, you're looking for passive buyers or passive sellers to be coming into the market. That's really the main thing you want to look at. Humphrey, do you incorporate SRT lines? I'm not sure what SRT lines are. Question about what order flows in longer time frames. Honestly, I don't look beyond. I do have a 15-minute chart, but I don't look beyond 15 minutes. I do watch a 5-minute chart fairly frequently during the day, but again, I trade on 1 minute and 30-second charts. Honestly, you know, it's kind of, honestly, it's not worth looking at 15-minute charts, but when you're analyzing order flow, you're analyzing what's happening right now, okay? And you don't want to wait 15 minutes sort of to take action, or 10 minutes or something, or 5 minutes, so to speak. You know, when you see something happening in the order flow, that's when it's going to be most ripe for opportunity, right? Not after, oh, I see something now, then you imagine you wait for 10 minutes for confirmation. You know, it's probably over by then. Yes, Nick asks about 2.0 to 3.0. Yeah, I sent everybody actually an email back in October when we released it. So you actually probably have it already, you know, on your email. Yeah, but again, you know, I know some people, you know, get busy, they stop trading for a while, and you know, they sort of disregard my emails. But again, yeah, anybody that's got 2.0 want to upgrade to 3.0, just shoot me an email. But again, I'll send out an email again for people. Trevor, yeah, there will be a recording available. I still need to edit it, but deal with it. Do you use unfinished business when you trade? No, I don't. I sort of explained why. I just find the market's too volatile really nowadays too. And it's not really the way it was designed to use. I mean, most of the time, 95% of the time, unfinished business gets corrected within the next bar or two. Usually it's immediately in the next bar. But I don't use it anymore. Yeah, I looked at it for several years earlier, you know, back in 2014, 2015, but you know, it's just something that I didn't really find useful much in my trading, the way I trade. Early Thursday morning before the cash opened, the market was slowly going up, but the cumulative delta was going down. How would you interpret that? Should cumulative delta always correlate with the overall trend in the market? Generally, yes, but no. And the reason being, okay, you have to understand cumulative delta is it's cumulative for the day. So, you know, let me see, not showing NASDAQ. Let me just find a market here. It's a bit better to talk about it. Well, okay, yes, about E-minis. Thursday morning, Thursday, what date was Thursday the 4th, before the cash open? What day is this? The 5th, 4th? Okay, so, you know, we're still negative here, right? Now, you can see this red line down here at the bottom, okay? And he's saying cumulative delta was slowly, the market was slowly going up, cumulative delta was going down. Now, granted, before the cash market opens, you got a lot less volume, okay? And so that's going to have an effect on the market, okay? So because when you're looking at cumulative delta, right? And you see here, right? Cumulative delta is only 600, 500, 300, and you get a bar that's got a volume of 1,000, right? Well, this 1,000 is obviously going to wreak havoc on your cumulative delta, right? Now, once you get into the trading day, then it's really going to, you know, sort of reassert itself. Now here, this market is mostly going sideways. Cumulative delta is kind of getting strong actually. So it was coming down, you got negative cumulative delta, turns negative, then it goes positive, 357, 139, 844, 1233. It's just going sideways. Now normally, right, you're seeing the rising cumulative delta, right? You're expecting this market to start rallying, right? And it's not. So then it gets whacked here, right? You got 1,000 negative delta, so it goes down to 277, then it goes back positive, 981, back to 1,200. Then you're getting these small deltas, 29, 149, 58, and it gets whacked here. Big buying, right? 2,000, right? Look at this cumulative delta here. So we're at positive 2,000 now. Earlier, we were at, you know, at that same level here, right? This high of this bar correlates to this bar. It's at minus 1,300, okay? But the market's not moving anywhere, okay? So you got to be asking those questions is, okay, yeah, positive delta. Delta is increasing, right? It's getting stronger. We're plus 2,000, but we're still, you know, going sideways, right? Is that a good sign or a bad sign? What do you think? Well, obviously this delta jumped from 900 to 2,000 here because this bar's got 1,100 positive delta. But if you're seeing delta expand, right, cumulative delta expanding, and the market's not going anywhere, that's not a good sign, obviously, right? Because you should be going higher, right? And it's not. It's just still going sideways because every time you start putting in some nice positive delta, it gets whacked, right? 1,000 here, right? You get up to 1400, gets sold here, another 500, right? Buy 1,000, boom, it gets sold 700, 694. Okay, so you back down to 1,300, right? And then it's more selling, 460, 659. Now it's going down, right? It's still positive delta, okay? Well, at this point, you're seeing, well, you got some selling, you got some small buying. These deltas are small. Now, for me, I have a rule that when I see delta around 50, it's small, but obviously on a markets that trade a lot of volume, in this case, you're trading 9,000, 6,000, 8,000. I consider 140 to be, less than anything less than 150 on a heavy volume to be kind of neutral, right? If it starts getting above 300, 400, then it's starting to give me some direction. But when I start seeing small deltas, 123, 140, 107, 164, I'm viewing that as kind of neutral, okay? Now, excuse me. So this delta is just sort of hanging around here. It's just sort of going back and forth, right? But now I start to see it pick up, right? Again, 1,000, back up to 1,000, because here it's just, sub 1,000, 200, 300, 400, 300. Now it's back to 1,000, 1,000. I'm starting to look for this market to move higher because, we're going down. We got cumulative deltas are growing. So there's buying coming in, right? There's buying coming in, but every time it sort of starts to move higher, wham, it gets sold. Okay, I would buy it, in here. Okay, boom, I get stopped out. I'd be looking to buy it again here, right? As we start to move higher, the value gaps here, you got a value gap higher, right? I'd be looking to buy it in this bar. Then I get stopped out. Okay, fine. Again, it's not about trying to pick the low of the day. It's about letting the market tell you, hey, you know what? We're coming down, but we still got that nice aggressive buying coming in, right? I mean, it's not going to keep going down, down, down with and negative and positive. The cumulative delta is going to keep growing, right? Because there's strength, there's buying, but every time it starts to turn around, it gets whacked, right? You see the delta 1,000, right? 600, but there is buying coming in, right? But that buying's not being sustained. Finally, it gets sustained here, right? And this is why I like the value areas, right? Because I can see I got a gap in value here, right? That's a good sign when I'm looking to get long. If I see the next bar gaps in the value, yeah, I can get long. Okay, fine, I got stopped out here. It's not the end of the world. I'm still waiting for, a trigger, so to speak, to be getting long in here. Again, okay, I see the aggressive buying starting to come in, 645, 460. I got the value area gap. I get long again, 80, 3,800. Now it's off to the races, right? All the way back up to 3,820. Okay, so hopefully that, James, that will answer your question there. Yes, it's recorded. I'm trading NQ and MNQ. Problem is with huge, but how can I use your software in the right way to see most things? Peter asks, well, it really depends on your time frame. Honestly, you got to be trading in a time frame, especially in MNQ or NQ, that it's manageable, right? You're looking at 30, 40 point moves in 1 minute. It's not manageable. Honestly, right now, when volatility is high, NASDAQ gets difficult for everybody to trade, right? Now, there's people that are crushing it in NASDAQ because they are, I don't say more experienced, but they understand it, right? That with the increased volatility, obviously comes increased price ranges, right? Because when you got volatility, really what's happening, right? Markets got to, that's why you get expanded bars, is because the price has to cover more ground to find balance, right? That's why you're getting price ranges in NQ recently, of 30 points, 40 points. It's because it can't find balance, right? There's just very little volume in there. Honestly, I said it's not a market for everybody to trade. And again, there's nobody putting a gun to your head saying, oh, you got to trade NASDAQ. Now, I know a lot of people are interested in NASDAQ simply because they see a lot of other people pulling out buckets of money, and honestly, sometimes I'm a bit jealous. I wish I had that temperament to trade NASDAQ, but it's just too volatile even for me to trade it. And trust me, I've traded in many markets. I've traded during the long-term credit management crash. Obviously, I traded in well, I guess started around the times when interest rates started rising in the 90s. But, bearings, I remember it came in that night when bearings was when Nick Leeson, all that stuff came out that with Nick Leeson, president of frickin' Dean Witter is there, or Dean Witter Futures rather. He's there in the office. It was a Sunday night, and the phones, things were going berserk. And there's the president of Dean Witter, it's like trying to calm the customers down, tell everybody, things will be fine. It's the financial system is safe, and all that stuff. And it's funny because the guy, he's an old floor guy, he's an old board of trade guy, he's a great guy, Larry Molnar. But I was laughing because he's like trying to write tickets up, like his buys and sells. He didn't have a pencil or a pen rather. He's using a highlighter. I know the old days, the tickets used to be carbon copies. It's just laughing. But plus this, he was an old board of trade guy, and he was a monster on the board of trade. He was like buddies with John Henry before John Henry got started. But yeah, not every market is for everybody. Now, James again asked about cumulative delta. Yeah, it resets at the trading day. So you can see here, this is the end of the trading day right here. We start the new trading day. So it ended cumulative delta the day before minus 3,300. Then it starts at minus 181. It doesn't start at midnight. It starts on the trading day. Yes, Michael, confirmation is key in anything, whether in trading or in life, right? You're not going to go on a second date if the girl is giving you bad vibes on the first date. John Stern asks, yes to run. Yes, this is recorded. And I'll be sending out guys emails. For prominent point of control, what is the check delta feature? Yeah, check delta, my programmer wanted to put that in. I think he put it in because a user was messaging him directly about it. And basically what it's going to do, check delta is, so for a bearish signal, if you're going to enable the check, each one has a check delta. So for a bearish prominent point of control, you would have to have negative delta. For bullish prominent point of control, it'd have to have positive delta. Okay, so it's just one extra layer of confirmation. Personally, I don't use it, but it was a user request that got put in there. In volatile days like we had this week in the ES, do you have a preference between time-based and range-based charts? No. I used to trade a lot of range-based charts when the markets were more, back in 2015, 16, when markets were more stable. Now with this volatility, if you're looking at a range-based chart, and forget about it in some markets, unless you're using a big range like NQ, if you're using 20 points. But if you're using S&Ps, I used to use a 4-range chart and an 8-range chart. And the reason I use the 4-range and 8-range chart is those were days when we would have a 15, 20-point range would be considered big. A lot of days would have ranges of 10 points. So I would use 4 points, a 4-tick chart, 4-range chart on normal days. But if I noticed volatility was picking up, I would switch to an 8-range, and profit targets are going to be different. So on a 4-point range chart, I'm going to have smaller profit targets. On an 8-range chart, I'm going to have bigger. I would use 5 on an 8 and 2.5 on a 4-range chart. But again, that was different trading environments that we're in now. Obviously now the markets are, I don't know how you want to describe it. They're different. It's a different market condition. Eventually, hopefully markets will, sort of calm down and get back to normal conditions. But again, that's the equities. If you're trading other markets, then you don't always, you can get the price moves. If you're looking at grains are normal for the most part, unless there's a WASD report, right? The supply and demand report. You look at some of these other markets, they're pretty normal, right? But it's the equities markets that obviously everyone's attracted to, because you turn on the TV, Dow is down 2%, or we're up this amount, etc. So again, it's going to depend on what you want to look at. So ratios in NASDAQ, I use the same ratios, whether it's NASDAQ, whether it's bonds, whether it's E-minis. I don't change the ratios at all. You know, I use the same ratios. No, it's not available for Sierra. You know, there's a soft, you know, Sierra has a footprint for free, and there's add-ons you can get for it, but I won't get into it. But you know, there are people that have my tools on Sierra that I don't get paid for basically anymore. You know, people would ask Sierra to add certain things on, like the ratios. But again, you know, what's the point of having these tools if you don't know how to use them? All right, you can add, you know, like I said, you can look up here, right? NinjaTrader got whatever 300 different indicators under the indicator setting, right? You pull up here, look at all this stuff, right? Nobody uses that, right? But oh, you know, hey, let's add some more indicators in there, right? Hey, let's add the relative vigor index. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I got that. Let's add this price oscillator. Let's add this, you know, what do you want to call it? Sum, swing, Kima. You know, it's just adding stuff. You know, put it on their sales page. Oh yeah, we got 300 indicators. The stuff that's in the Orderflows trader software is stuff that's being used. Now, sort of coming back to using a range-based chart, right? One of the versus a time-based chart on a volatile market, you know, you could get price swings. You know, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars in 1 minute on a 4-range chart, whereas on the 1-minute chart it would be 1 bar. You know, you could even get more. You know, this is, look at this move here. Okay, this is 2:57 and 37 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bars. And this is a move from 38 all the way down to 46. And unless you're, you know, an algo, you know, or a human robot, you're not going to catch this move, right? Because you're too slow, right? I just find using on volatile markets range time-based charts a bit easier to understand. Jeff asks, I trade with ES as a scalper. What time frame would you use? Again, it really depends on you. I've gone down to 30 seconds. Again, you know, dealing with tick and range. Again, like I just explained here, you can find some good trade. Oh, this is a great short here, right? You know, like this, right? Yeah, this is a great short, right? Oh, I got a prominent point of control. Well, you know, you get short, okay, then you get stopped out, and then oh, I got another one up here. This is a great one. Right? I get short, but by the time I get short, the market's moved 4 points already, right? That's the problem with range-based charts. Whereas at least on, you know, on a 30-second chart, you know, I just find it a bit more manageable for myself. Excuse me. Okay, getting near the end here of some questions. Would it be sending out recording? Yep. Can I use this in Forex? Yes, you can. I don't have Forex data here, but you can. You know, honestly, it's better to use the CME currency contracts. Honestly, you know, I don't want to say Forex brokers are dodgy, but honestly, you know, I got a lot of people that use the software, look at the CME contracts, the data that's coming in over the, you know, for the 6E, right, zero currency, 6J for Jap yen, use that data, use it with the order flow, and then they just trade through their Forex broker. Yeah, my software is not, this order flows trader software, the footprint is not compatible with Bloodhound. I don't think it will ever be, because what Bloodhound means and what's in the actual order flow, we literally have to break out all those different pieces of analysis as separate indicators for it to work on Bloodhound. Stefan asks about the 2.0 to 3.0 upgrade. Yeah, there's no discounts because it's free. You don't have to pay extra for it. Richard, again, just shoot me an email, right? If you upgrade your computer, you know, if you upgrade your computer or you even do a Windows BIOS upgrade and you load NinjaTrader again, it's going to give you a new machine ID. And so you'll need a new license. So basically, just let me know that you've changed your computer, or you changed your, you know, you did a Windows upgrade and the NinjaTrader is giving you a different machine ID. Just shoot me an email because the way the license works, it works per computer and it's tied to that machine ID. Excuse me. Let me drink some water here. Oh, we're going on almost 3 hours. So, anytime there's like a big change like that on your motherboard or whatever, just let me know. Chris asks, I'm looking to use this for Forex for technical analysis at swing levels. One of my first users, right, one of my biggest supporters of the software, I don't say he's a swing trader, but he trades at pivot levels, right? He's got his levels, right? He knows what they are, and really what he's looking for is what happens in the order flow at those levels. So, for example, say this is his level right here. Okay, we'll just call it, here. Market comes down, trades below, and you'll see, oh, I've got price rejection down here. I've got price exhaustion as well. Then we start coming back up through his level. He's willing to, those are the trades that he likes to see. Obviously it would be better if the market came right, if his level was like right here or something, or his level was here, 1 tick or 2 ticks away, and then you start seeing price rejection or something, he gets all excited, right? Those are the trades he loves to take. But again, there's so many different ways, so many different tools that we have in the Orderflows Trader software that you could use it. Yeah, negative comments, competition. Yeah, it is what it is. Again, it's like, people sometimes, it's like, I got negative comments about McDonald's sometimes, right? I go there to buy a Happy Meal for my kids. Okay, yeah, we've got no toys. Okay, great. So it is what it is. That's all. Now, one of those converts, Mike. Yeah, no, thanks, Daniel. It's nice to hear that, that is helped your trading. Really, I mean, that's really what it's about. It's about helping people in it. No, I don't have a live trading room anymore. I do. My kids are at home all day with their school, so honestly, it's hard even for me trading during the day, because my son is in first grade. He's just right at the end of my desk. He's got his own little desk with his homeschooling stuff, and his teacher sends us stuff. We got to print this up. She'll send us all like 20 PDFs to print up, and then she won't tell you which one she's using today. Then she'll be like, oh, just pull this page out. Okay, let's get started. And it's like, wait, which page? So, sometimes I find myself trying to trade and deal with that. So that's why I can't have a trading room. When my kids go back in school, I don't want to necessarily have a trading room. I'd rather just stream it live for everybody. There's no point in charging for that. What's the preferred time or range? Again, Brad, there's no preferred time or range. It depends on you. Honestly, I look at 30 seconds on E-minis. Other people say that's too fast for them. They want to look at a minute. Okay, sort of start at a starting point and see, is it too volatile? Is it too fast for you? On a range-based chart, if you're is it covering too much prices too fast for you, right? If you're looking at NASDAQ, right? I used to look at NASDAQ on a 10 range chart before. Now you can't, right? You got to, because the bar can cover, in a minute you can go, 40 points, right? So maybe you want to have a 20 range chart on NASDAQ. It really depends on the markets and which E-minis. What additional software? There's no additional software you need to use my software, right? You just need NinjaTrader. Again, it'll work on the free version, but if you want to trade through NinjaTrader brokerage, you're gonna get the paid version. That way you got lower commissions, and over time it'll pay for itself in that sense. But obviously you got to pay for your data feed, right? Because you're gonna get the data. You gotta get the data from somewhere. And again, if you want to use the free version, you can. If you're going to route your orders through another trading platform, you can use the free version of NinjaTrader, but you still got to pay data fees, right? Because you need a real-time data feed if you're trading in real time. Is absorption and exhaustion. Mike, can you touch on absorption and exhaustion after a significant move? Yeah, basically what I'm looking, after a move, right? Think of exhaustion, okay? Market's moving up. The last buyer buys. The market's not going to go any higher. You got no more buying. Okay, so the market's going to drop, just as on a move down. The last seller sold. Who's going to move the market down? Nobody. There's nobody left to move the market down. And absorption is kind of the opposite concept, right? The market's moving up to a level, and you got some passive sellers up there, people that are happy to distribute their supply, right? This is a very compact definition. And if the market has been selling off, you got buyers coming out, realizing this is a good deal. And they're going to, they're going to be interested in buying at the low prices. Not just at the low of the day, but I mean, markets don't always go V-shaped, right? They tend to go in more of a U-shape, right? They sort of come down and then go sideways and work their way back up. That's where the absorption is coming in. Right? Think of an airplane, right? Airplanes just don't drop and come in and land, right? They come in gradually, slowly going down, 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 and hit the runway. That's what markets do. Is there tech support if needed? Yeah, there's support. Most people don't need it, but depending on what the issue is, my programmer is happy to jump on a call with you and even remote into your PC to sort things out. Sometimes people got a lot of stuff running on their PC. Sometimes they got a lot of an older PC, and it's rare, but it does happen. As I say, maybe about 3% of users actually need to go to have my programmer jump on with them, but it is there. It's available for you. Tony asked, no, I don't have a live trading room anymore. I just explained my guy homeschooling kids, but not homeschooling, but school from home because of this COVID stuff. Jack asks about, he's got the scalper and trader. Do you have any special for turns indicator? Yeah, Jack, you have to shoot me an email, as a user for stuff, you got a couple of my softwares. We can put something together for you. Can I use this on Forex? Yeah, Chris, I answered your question already, actually. We're gonna make the software. Yeah, AWS, Mohammed. Yeah, I used to work with Emoji a bit, but then he sort of cut me out of the picture. So, whatever. But yeah, it's not available right now on NinjaTrader. We sort of went in different directions. I don't say he cut me out. We just went in different directions. That's all. He's doing his own thing and in a different direction than I'm going. And we left on. We broke up. I felt like we broke up on good terms. I like to think. I was happy to help him out when he got started. So I like to think we're still on good terms. But he hasn't replied to my last email. When we've been given permission to directly connect, we've been given permission to directly connect with the Globex system, test automated trading system. It would be kind of cool to implement your software directly at the data center in Aurora. Martin, you have to email me directly. My email is just people always ask, what's your email, Mike? It's just mike@orderflows.com. My email. People always ask, what's your email? What's the best way to contact you? I got a simple email. It's just mike@orderflows.com. Now, granted, I do get a lot of spam emails, and I do get a lot of emails every day. So if I get about 400, when I worked at JP Morgan, we used to come in every day from the time I go home at night to the time I come in the next day, because you were copied on it, a lot of garbage. I'd come in, I'd have like 300 emails. You go on vacation for 2 weeks, you come back, you'd have like 5,000 emails to catch up on. And I thought I got past that when I left, but I get a lot of emails. So, I try to answer them in a timely manner. And if you're looking for an answer and I don't give you an answer in you think a timely manner, just shoot me another email. Say, hey, I'm just following up. But that's my email address. So Martin, email me. What exactly? Then asked about the playbook. Yeah, let me check. I'll have to send you an email on that because I know you've got it. So I'll have to send it to you. Stefan says he sent me an email about the upgrade. Well, Stefan, I hate to say send me an email again, but I'll take a look, okay? Because like I said, sometimes I get a lot of emails and sometimes stuff goes to spam. But I got your name here. I'm gonna check on it after we're done on this. But I'll send you the details about the upgrade. Oh, you sent those in October. Maybe it got lost. Can I do it in 2 payments? I don't really offer it in 2 payments, Don, but yeah, you can email me and we'll discuss it. What tools you use the most? Well, again, there's so many different markets, and I use different tools in different markets, honestly. You know, tools I use the most now, EVA is something in value areas. I really jumped headfirst into the deep end with value areas. Wayne asks about markers with Orderflows Trader. Honestly, I haven't set it up. I've never set up Orderflows Trader with markers. I use markers for my other indicators, but not Orderflows Trader. There's something I have to work on and see, if it can, or if it could work with Strategy Builder. I know my program would know more about that, Wayne, but yeah, that's something that we'll dig deep in a little further. Joe asks about, can you show S1 chart? Was that an exhaustion on a 4,000 volume chart? Well, let me see. Get what you say, 4,000 volume. Hang on. I don't think I got 4,000 volume here. Let me add it here real quick. Volume, 4,000. Okay. Okay, so where's my 4,000 here? Anyways, just let it come up here while waiting for that chart to come up. ZW. What time frame do I use for ZW? I use a 1 minute chart. That's wheat. No, I don't use. PW asks about the NinjaTrader volumetric bars data. No, it doesn't. That's why we use the tick data. Volumetric, there's other software out there is tied to the volumetric bars data. That's why you need the paid version. My software runs on the free version of NinjaTrader, so it doesn't need the volumetric data. Okay, so hang on a second here. No. Sorry, that was my wife asking me. You're not done yet. So the free version of NinjaTrader, right? My software will run on because it reads the data that comes in. Okay. Whereas if you need, like, there's other software that has a footprint chart actually relies on the volumetric bars data, so you would need the paid version. Okay, so there's a slight difference. All right, so going back to exhaustion on a 4,000 range chart, a 4,000 volume chart. Okay, so this small print, right here, 8, 2 right here, right? There's 7, but it's a move up. But really, what I'm looking for is it coming in at swing highs or swing lows. Swing high here, you got divergence, you got a bearish ratio, you got the exhaustion right there. And again, this is set to a level of 9 and below, right? You 4,000 volume, maybe you want to set it to 20 or something, but honestly, setting it at a low threshold is probably better, right? Look at this swing low right here, 1. You got that move up. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Yeah, I know a trader that uses, guys. I know a trader that uses 10-second charts. Yeah, when markets were slower, actually, I was using 5-second charts for a while. Didn't last very long, but it in the sense that I was finding myself in and out of markets too much. I said I need to back off. And I went to 15 seconds for a while, but now with this volatility, I'm sort of 1 minute is too long for me now, the way this market moves. I thought when Biden got elected, I thought we'd go back to sort of how the market traded under Obama. But you know, he's only been in president for what, 2 months. We've already bombed Syria, and you know, he cut off the Keystone Pipeline, and obviously Jerome Powell's in his own world, and what's her name, the woman, Yellen. These people are what are these people doing on Twitter and Instagram, but you know, Twitter, tweeting about all this stuff, and yeah, it's just stay off it. You know, they always complain that you know Trump's on Twitter all the time, but hey, I see Janet Yellen and all these. Yeah, she just opened an account literally the day after she got confirmed, I think, on Twitter. But yeah, you know, it's these markets are quite volatile, and I think people are in for an awakening this year in the markets, one way or another. So that comes up. Is there alerts setting? No, Don. You know, for these different things, there are no alerts settings. And honestly, for me personally, based on my own experience, dealing with alerts when the market is moving and going nuts, so to speak, and you got all these alerts going off, like sound alerts, it gets confusing, and ultimately you just turn them all off. And you know, it's just yeah, yeah, I know what it was like. You know, I used to have, I'd be past a book before, um, you know, going back to my days in the 90s, you know, actually when I left the trading floor and we're trading upstairs, we always had a book, you know, we got to deal with trading book of orders and all this stuff. We'd always have these levels, you know, and programmed into CQG and Bloomberg, and all of a sudden the markets would move, you know, like a big move, and you got like 20 levels going off, and you're sitting there, you're trying to think, what's this level going off, you know, and then you just clear it. Okay, yeah, I know about that one. I clear this other one. You're hitting because you used to have to hit like the space bar on some of these machines, hit the space bar, and the next thing you know, you've missed something because you had all these different alerts going off. And that's just me. But if you're trading, like my individual indicators have a sound alert, right? If you're just trading one market with one indicator, but on order flow, trading a lot of different things is a bit confusing. But anyway, guys, that wraps it up for today. You know, I didn't expect it. This went twice as long as I expected, but you know, hopefully by now you understand things a lot better about order flow, and you have something you can come away with, right, to help your trading. So I'm going to end it there. So thanks everybody, and thanks for your patience. And again, you know, any questions, just shoot me an email. Bye bye.